Basically, what we are doing here today is to create a workflow for AI follow-up and lead qualification. And it is actually for a real estate company, right? It's not a real estate company though. We're going to be using some dummy data to do this. So what this workflow will be doing is this. It will get the customer's information, maybe from the website or wherever it's being stored, filter out the basic informations that it needs, send those informations to AI for a response. And once AI generates a response, it will send an email to that customer with that response. Then, after sending the email, it can now differentiate those leads, whether the lead is qualified or not qualified. If it's qualified, then it can send to the Google Sheet qualified document. If it's not, you can totally ignore it, or you can create maybe another Google Sheets for the unqualified leads. Then after that, it will send a message to Slack notifying the teams that we have a new lead that is qualified. So that's basically what this workflow is doing. Let's get started. Now, the first thing to do is we need to get those informations, those customers' information. So to do that, we need to create a webhook. So let's search for webhook. Okay, yeah, here's it. On webhook call. So we're going to change this HTTP method to post. So let's click on post. So right now, I actually don't have any data. So I'm going to be working with dummy data. So we're going to be calling this URL via my terminal. You can do it via your Postman, or maybe if you have any website that is running, yeah, you can just basically take it, running from there. So, but this, I'll be pasting this, attaching this to the video. So don't worry about writing it manually. And let me click on this. Okay, before I do that, let me try running this and see if, so it gave us an error 404 message. And why did it give us this error? That's because you have not still listening for test events. So let's click on listen for test events. Go back and run that again. And yeah, it says workflow has started. So workflow is up and running. So now let's go back. Now that we have triggered our webhook, the next thing is to get this customer's data. So to get this customer data, we have to filter it out from the messages we are getting from this webhook, right? So to do that, let's create another node and call it edit. Yeah, edit field. So we're going to be taking some fields like, let's scroll down. The customer's name, drag it, the email, the phone, their location, their budgets. Let's just get everything short. Yeah, you have done budgets, their timeline, their property type, and yeah, voila, that's that. So let's execute this. These are all the informations we will need to generate responses and qualify this lead. So let's click on execute node. Yeah, so this is it. Now that we've gotten the customers' details and everything, the next thing we have to do is to generate a response from AI. So you can use any AI model of your choice, but right now we're going to be using Llama. We're going to be using it via Grok AI. So let's use HTTP replace and get our AI response. Our method type will be post. The URL, I'll also be attaching this to the video, or you can just go to Grok website and you'll be able to see this URL. If you go to their documentation, yeah, you can see there, but don't worry, I'll make this easier for you by attaching that to this video. So the next thing we're going to be adding is our header, the body, or I didn't click this header. For your header, we'll be adding authorization. So you need to generate your Grok API key from their platform. So once you generate your API key, go to give value and add bearer. Then you paste your API key. And then for the body, I will choose raw. So I have my prompts written out. First of all, let's add our content type. Our content type will be application/JSON. All right. Then for the body, I'm still gonna be adding this to this video. I'll write everything in Google Docs and attach it directly to this video. So I won't really stress you guys so much. Now this is actually my body content. So it has a user prompt, which is an system prompt. So the user prompt says you are a helpful real estate assistant, right? Then this for the system prompt. Then the user prompt says you are a real estate assistant. Follow up with this lead. And I'll give you the user's details like name, pass, budget, timeline, property. Then tell it to compose a friendly response, asking for a convenient time to talk, right? So this is basically my prompt. And I'm using this model right here. So you can choose any model you want. If you go to Grok platform, you're gonna be seeing different kind of model. So, but this is the model I'm working with. So, okay, this is on the body, but I'll have to make some changes to this prompt. Actually, not changes. I'll have to add some things to it. Things like the name, the email, the budget, the timeline, and the property. Right. So for that, let's go to these fields that we edited out. This is actually the name. Then the email too. We're gonna be doing the same thing for email. For timeline and for budgets, just basically filling those missing gaps there. And what else? Property type, yeah. I guess that's it. So yeah, that's it. Now let's try executing this step and see if it works. So yeah, it works. Now is our AI has generated a response to the details our user sent. So let's go back. So now that we have the AI message, the next thing is to send a follow-up email to the user. Maybe something like, oh, when will you be chance to talk or something like that. Whatever the AI generated, we're sending directly to the user. So let's click on another node. To do that, we're going to be sending it via email. So we have to use an email node. And this is it, yeah, by using Gmail. And for the message action, we are doing send a message. For the credentials, I already have my Gmail account authenticated. But let me show you how you can do yours. I'm not going to do mine from scratch again. Just click on sign in with Google. It directs you to a page where you can give N8N full access or some access to your Gmail account, right? I'm not going to do that again. So let's skip that. Yeah, close. I already have my credentials. That for the resource is I'm using the message operation. I'm sending a message. Then two, I'm going to take a customer's email and paste here. So let's go back to the field, edit fields. And yeah, this is the customer's email. Then for the subjects, let's say house viewing, just anything that comes to your mind right now. You are not really doing it that professional. We're just trying to do some demo, right? So let's just say follow up on house viewing. And for the message, we're going to be taking that exact message AI generated for us. And this is it. Okay. So we said, this message said, excited to help you find your dream home, Sarah. Dear Sarah, a huge welcome to our real estate family. We are thrilled to have you on board and can't wait to assist you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So that looks great. Let's execute the step. And let's go back. So now that we've gotten a message, the next thing is to get this lead and send it to our Google Sheets. But before we do that, since we are trying to qualify the lead, whether it is qualified or not qualified, we will need to separate this lead. We will need to group them. If it's qualified, go to the spreadsheet. If it's not, go to the spreadsheet, something like that. So before we move over to the Google Sheets, let's try and qualify or unqualify these leads. All right. So let's create a node. Actually, this is going to be a full code. It's JavaScript code. AI wrote it for me though. So I'm just going to be pasting it directly. And don't worry, just like I say, I'm going to be attaching a full Google Docs that contains some of the things I did here. So you can just basically go there, copy it and do your stuff. So this is the code AI generated for me. I didn't generate this, right? So we're going to copy this and paste it. We're going to copy this and paste it. So basically what this code is doing is it is rating this lead, right? Rating it in the scale of 1 to 10, I think so. Audience ready, budget, buy, and score appointments and all of that. It's just giving it a score. So that score will determine if our lead is actually qualified or unqualified, right? So to do that, we're going to remove this JSON dot reply. we're gonna be attaching the AI reply there. So it's through this AI response that we're going to know if the lead is qualified or not qualified. It's gonna scan through for words like urgent, ready, budget, buy, move, chat, call. And if AI response has something like that, then automatically it will rank the lead from, let me say, from 5 to 10, something like that, right? So these are AI response. Let's go attach it. And let's execute this node. So yeah, our lead score is 7 and it is qualified. So we actually said here that any lead above 5 or equal to 5 is qualified. So our lead score, which is 7, is actually qualified. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to group this into qualified and not qualified lead. But to do that, we have to add an if block. If it's qualified, go here. If it's not, go there. So let's add an if block. And routing these items. So for the value, let's use qualified. Qualified says true if is equal to, let's say, it's true. Execute this step. Okay. Now let's add another for false. So if it's true, let's connect our Google Sheet. Actually, I've not created any Google Sheet documents, but we're gonna do that in a minute. So click on Google Sheets. Let's say append or update row, because I'll be creating that manually. Let's choose sheet within document, append or whatever. So this is actually for true. So let's choose relative qualified made and sheet 1. Yeah. Let's go back to our edit fields and do something. All right. Let's add the name and the email. But that's basically it. Let's execute this workflow and boom. So let's go back to our workflow and add 4. Okay, then for this force, you can basically do the same thing, but we're not going to do that. Or you can decide to store or just ignore it if it's not actually a qualified lead, right? So we're not going to be doing for that first. Let's go back to the next thing. Now, the next thing you're going to be doing is we got a lead, a qualified lead. So we need to send it a notification to the team, maybe via email or Slack. But since we used email somewhere here for sending message, and I'm going to use the email node. So let's try something new. Let's use Slack. So click on this and let's look for Slack node. Yeah, see our Slack node. So let's look for what we want to do. We want to send a message. So click on send a message. This Slack, I already have my credentials set up, right? But let me show you something. You can either use this authentication method, it will connect you directly to your Slack, or you use access token. So this authentication is an easy way out, right? You don't need to stress yourself. But if you're planning on using access token, is a bit longer, right? You have to create a bot. You have to give your bot necessary permissions and invite you to the channel. Then copy or create your access token and all of that. So it's a bit long, but let me try and see if we can go over it again. Or let me just do that right now. So to do that, we're going to go to the Slack IP and create a boot. You can see I already have a boot I created for that workflow, right? And it's boots. I already have that. But click on create a new app. Let's create it from scratch. Now we're going to be choosing a boot's name. Let's call it real estate boots. Real estate boots, right? And this is my workspace. Let's quit the app. And then now I have my app ID, client ID, and all, but now that's not what we're using. So for our access token, let's go to this words and permissions. I will need to add a boot token scopes. So these are basically some permissions we're gonna be giving to these boots. So the next thing we have to do now is to just go ahead, and I already installed it. I think I skipped that part. Just click on install and it will basically install your boots. Then you can copy your token and go paste it and go paste it on your access token, right? Yeah, that's basically it. Just paste it on your access token and you say if you're good to go. Now, this is my credentials. Now, let's do send a message to channel. I'm going to be using the channel ID, right? So let me go to my channel and get my channel ID. You scroll down. This is actually my channel ID right here. I'm going to copy it and let's continue. Paste a channel ID, type a simple message. So let's say for the message, let's say I'm new qualified lead alerts. And let's make it more dramatic. Not necessary, but just let's make it a bit dramatic. Yeah, so that's it. Let's click on it. Oh, one more thing. This actually not going to work, but let me show you. Click on execute. Yeah, not in channel. So what that means is your mate invited that bot you created on your Slack channel. So what are we waiting for? Let's go invite it. Let's click on Slack. Right. So this. Now let's call that boot. Where are the boots? Comfort. Yeah, that's our boot. We listed boots. Let's click on enter and say yeah, our boots is not actually on this channel. Yeah, we know that. So add them and it will add our boot for us. So our boot is right on the channel. So what we're gonna do is let's try executing this again and it should work. Yep. We got our message in seconds and it says new lead alert. So you can add an emoji or whatever to just make it more dramatic, right? Then this is basically it. This is a workflow. Once a customer sends a message, will be on our website or wherever our webhook will be getting information from. Then our workflow will try to filter out the necessary information it needs, like the name of the customer, the emails, the timeline, the budget, and all of that. Then send it to our AI to construct a response. And once our AI makes a response, we will send it directly to the customer's email. Then with that response our AI made, we're going to use it to differentiate, is this lead actually qualified or is it unqualified? So if it's actually a qualified lead, we're going to put it in our Google Sheets, right? You're going to write the name, the AI response, the email, and all of that in our Google Sheet. Then we're also going to send a message to the team members and say, hey, there's actually a new qualified lead. So this is basically an automated workflow for AI follow-up and lead qualification.